already in. So we'll get started. So again, everyone, welcome today to our discussion, what industry leaders are actually want to know about technology right now. I am your host and moderator for today, Megan Ng, and I am the marketing manager on Common Sense. I'm really happy today to introduce our panelists. We have Wes Marco, our Chief Technology Officer, and our Director of Operations, Shannon Dulinsky. Wes brings over 30 years of IT experience to our team, where he leads our development and expand our development teams and our expansion of our GEM solutions for the healthcare and senior living communities. Fun fact about Wes, he is also the former VP and co-founder of Point of Sale Enterprise, aka It Works, for those who are familiar and know about that. Um, and as the director of operations, Shannon leads our professional services and support departments while also shaping and implementing all operational strategies across our departments. Shannon has over 15 years of experience in the food and beverage industry and more than a decade of expertise in senior living tech space. So welcome everyone. There's a couple more people filtering in. I'll give a couple of minutes to Wes and Shannon if they want to say anything to introduce themselves. Oh, did we lose Shannon?
I think Shannon might have dropped off.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be back.
Okay.
Either she planned this, leave me here all by myself.
Yeah. Okay. She just said, I'm gonna take off and let Wes run with it. Wes, did you want to say anything to the attendees before we get started?
No, I appreciate everyone attending. I hope there's all but two of you out there. Okay. No, thank you for coming, and hopefully I don't bore you to death.
No, no, no. All right, so we'll get started, and hopefully Shannon joins us in a few minutes. Okay, so some housekeeping rules for today. A recording of the webinar will be sent to you, so no need to ask about that. Everyone is muted and will have their video turned off for the duration of the webinar. Any questions will be taken during the Q&A presentation of the webinar. So I'll get into the agenda. We'll start off with healthcare and hospitals discussion, move on to senior living communities. Can't have a tech talk without talking about AI, so we're going to have a discussion about operationalizing AI, implementing technology strategically, and a little sneak peek into our common sense roadmap. We'll top it off with Q&A, and at the end we have a little rapid fire with Shannon and Wes, which will be fun, and you guys are also invited to join along with that too. Let's see, do we have Shannon back?
We do not.
Okay.
Uh,
We will move forward.
Yep.
All right, so healthcare and hospitals discussions. The first question today. Where are hospitals losing the most time and money inside their food service operations?
Yeah, so the thing that I see ever since joining Common Sense is really outdated, antiquated equipment, stuff that's been around forever. I ain't mention any particular names, but some POS brands that have been around since I first got to industry, still being used today, probably shouldn't still be used today. Um, Being used and are entirely inefficient for what's available today technology wise.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so throughput. So what we see immediately after a new implementation is really faster setups, faster ways to get your product in the systems, ready to go for sale, quicker sales, um, data mining is a lot simpler today than it was. Consolidating data across multiple revenue centers or outlets. Those are real ways of more efficiency and throughput. And of course, the new thing popping up on the scenes is a lot of self-service, things like kiosks, online ordering apps, stuff
Yeah.
where people don't actually have to stand in line. Really speeding up operations through a restaurant, cafeteria, revenue center, coffee shop, you name it.
Right.
really speeding things up and making things more efficient.
That makes sense. That's a lot of great information. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take it to the next question. What's the most common breakdown you see in hospital payment workflows?
Um, yes, systems that don't talk to each other, data that doesn't reconcile or flow. Can't tell you how many times you walk in and actually see loose cash control or loose reconciliation of payment processes. Um, so yeah, actually reconciling everything from a what a cashier is ringing up to what the entire cash deposit cash flow is for an entire organization across multiple revenue centers. So it's like with antiquated systems, a lot of times you'll take a little printed report and you'll go to an adding machine, add it up, or an Excel spreadsheet, and uh, and so people get like they were complacent or
Mhm.
just from doing redundant tasks of moving data from one place to another. They don't monitor it, and that tends to break down.
Yeah,
So yeah, as we put our newer systems in place, things start to get automated. I mean, our systems are fully integrated in truly enterprise systems, so there's not that human factor that can cause errors in the reconciliation process. Really, we want to get to a point where we are only notifying the users when something's wrong or something doesn't balance or something doesn't match.
right.
More of a notification than redundant tasks. Shannon's back. Yay!
Yes, welcome back, Shannon.
Thank
I
you. What's a live event without some sort of internet breakdown?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We're glad to have you back, Shannon. Did you want to add anything to this question? What's the most common breakdown you see in hospital payment workflows?
Yeah, so I heard Wes talking about the audit and reconciliation process, which absolutely
Mhm.
agree with everything that I heard, at least the ending part there. Um, from my perspective, I would say when you're dealing with hospital networks, there's similar to me just having internet issues, they also have internet issues. And so
You
part of our
demonstrated it.
implementation process is to make sure that when you do have internet or IT issues occur, that we have offline capability enabled. So our badge pay system, we have the ability to do offline charging. And then also when you start talking about your credit card EMV devices, we always talk through and make sure that if you would like to have offline mode enabled, we highly recommend it. This will help prevent any sort of stoppages of service. There's nothing worse than being a guest walking through the line. I'm just trying to pay for my food, and all of a sudden your entire you know your network crashes and you're unable to accept payments. That's lost revenue. So it's kind of a big deal to make sure that you've got backup plans put in place to help with that.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Why do order errors still happen even with modern systems in place?
Good question. Yeah, so order errors are going to happen. They happen. People are human. I
Hmm.
think the better way to address this is how to prevent those errors and then
Yeah,
how to deal with them better after they happen. So a couple of things to address this. So we'll focus on the point of sale system. Jim Paz. We try to limit the amount of options a cashier or an order taker can make by limiting their options to options that are only available or good at that point in time. And what I mean by saying that is like through menu cycles, menu item availability, menu management type systems, we can actually control what is available, preventing the order takers from ringing stuff up that doesn't exist.
Yeah, like
And
for
then with our,
example, like if you have a soup or something that's only offered on Wednesdays, our
yeah,
application will actually prevent the users from being able to click that soup if it's not actually available. So just to
right.
Wes's point, it's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
and then with our GenServe system, again, supporting menu cycles and limiting menu items to people's specific diets, preventing people from bringing it up. That takes us to then the next spot of actually dealing with errors when they're made.
Mm-hmm.
Still have a lot of kitchens out there that are using kitchen printers. Once orders are actually printed, it's really tough to go correct that mistake. I mean, short of the person who realized the mistake was made running into the kitchen going, pull that ticket. Uh, that
We've all
becomes
done
really
it.
difficult. Yeah. So our KDS system will actively show changes being made. So when a mistake is made, it can be corrected out front or where the order taker is, and we can correct that mistake instantly, or by notifying the kitchen right then and there that that order has changed and they need to do something about it.
Awesome. How can hospital systems maintain consistency across multiple facilities? That's probably a loaded one.
Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing to call out here is that in order to have a truly, consistent workflow, you need to have a true enterprise platform. You can't have something that's loosely connected at a site level because it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Without centralization, reporting becomes fragmented, almost disjointed. Your data comparisons, you don't have like a true apples to apples. And the best
Yeah.
example that I try to relay clients when we're doing, installs and we're trying to help our clients realize all of the benefits of moving to an enterprise-based system is a real simple coffee example. So we were talking to a couple clients and they had two different
Yeah.
systems and they were trying to figure out which coffee was more profitable, right? And so if you look at the reporting, you saw you had, two separate systems, two separate facilities, one selling coffee small and one selling coffee 8 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you know how many ounces were in the coffee small, there's no
Right.
way to actually be able to do any sort of true comparison and to say whether or not you're making, enough profit or to be able to just compare. And when the information is disjointed and the systems are not speaking the same, menu item language, you can make bad decisions. So having an enterprise system can really help leadership and make informed system-wide decisions, which is why, in my opinion, if you've got multiple sites running, a system, an enterprise approach is the only approach in order to truly maintain consistency.
Yeah, data
Okay.
consistency and data integrity, the two big things that
Yeah,
enterprise systems bring to the table that hodgepodge systems have issues with.
absolutely. All right. Okay, so we're already moving into senior living. I'll take our first senior living question, which is, where do senior living communities struggle most to balance choice and efficiency?
So I'll take that one.
Yeah.
In my experience with senior living communities, it really the core challenge is going to be budget constraints. It's not it's everyone wants unlimited choice and everyone wants their food to be served as fast as possible, but it's not really possible unless you have unlimited labor and unlimited cost. So our technology helps bridge that gap by expanding choice without increasing staffing, while
Hmm.
also improving, service speeds and consistency. So I think the goal is balance, not a trade-off. And then finding a happy medium in between those two um, to try to make the community as most efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want to add anything to that, Wes?
Oh, I mean, having technology in place, it's tough. A lot of these communities that I've gone and visited, it's like you only have one, two, three people that are in charge of hundreds of residents and patients, and it's impossible for them to memorize. But each person, I'm sure there's some great folks out there that can,
Right.
but it's not easy keeping track of that many people in your head, and so you really need
Absolutely.
the right tools for the job, and that just helps.
I mean, when you
All
think
right.
about some of these senior living communities, I mean, and you're talking about balancing choice and efficiency, it's more than just choice. I mean, these are people
Mhm.
that this is where they live. This is like going into your own personal kitchen and having to figure out what you want for dinner tonight.
Right.
And you've got, a whole slew of things by looking at your ingredients in your pantry and your fridge, and you can come up with all of these, great combinations. But some of these folks that live in senior living communities struggle with the fact that like you may only get one or two options, and then you may get something like from a always available menu or something. But so
Mhm.
you want to be able to do the best that you can for these people because food
Yeah.
truly is the highlight in senior living communities. And so
Yeah.
giving them enough choice that fits within their diets that are nutritious and delicious and all the things that they want while also trying to manage costs. I mean, it's a huge challenge. And so our software applications try to take those challenges and try to embrace it and figure out ways that we can communicate preferences and costing decisions and all those types of things and one solid application to help leaders make these balances and figure out um, how to circumnavigate those budget constraints.
Yeah, the whole preferences thing is what amazed me when I first joined Common Sense. The fact that our systems actually keep track of people's preferences. So that goes beyond like the whole allergy and nutrition thing. It's like Mrs. Jones, she's not allergic to fish, but she doesn't like fish. She would prefer to
Right?
have chicken. And to be able to
Right.
see that across your entire community really helps with deciding what you're going to feed them. It's like when most of your people don't like an item, you actually have that data to look at and make better judgments as to what you're ordering.
100%, which then leads into, if you're constantly serving that person fish and they don't like fish, guess what? That's food waste. You're just going to start preparing the
Mhm.
food. You're going to
Yes.
throw it out in the
Yeah.
garbage because she's just going to want something else, some basic sandwich or something else. So it's dialing into those preferences and making
Yeah.
your menu match your community and not forcing them to eat things that they don't want to eat. Because let's face it, nobody wants to eat something that they don't like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
right? So yeah.
All right, great. Thank you both. Okay. How do communities ensure dietary accuracy without overwhelming staff?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were, that kind of goes into what our
Yeah.
conversation that we were already kind of having. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Giving them the right tools and the systems that keeps track of all that.
Yes.
That way they can focus on the individuals and have that data set that actually keep tracks of not just what people are not allowed to eat, but what they
Mhm.
really want to eat.
Yeah.
I think the other important thing to call out when you're talking about dietary accuracy is a lot of times when you're in these communities, you very well could have changing diets on the fly. And a
Mhm.
very antiquated workflow would be, I need to check in my EMR and find out of whether or not that person has had any dietary restrictions or any diet order changes. Okay, now I got to go to my other system and I got to make sure that that system has been updated. Okay, where are we at in the meal service process? How is this impacting production? Like it can just start to compound, right? Having systems that integrate and that automatically update this information on the fly is huge because that's going to help, with staff. You've just eliminated all the time that it takes to go from one system to another. And then it also, prevents allergy incidents. It prevents you from serving incorrect meals. So whether or not
Mhm.
something violates somebody's diet orders. And then going back to the whole fish example, overproduction. So making
Right.
sure that everything is in lockstep to make sure that the people are being served what they want and what they should be eating without having the labor burden associated with it. Having your systems integrated is huge.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, taking that even one step further is the whole having it totally integrated all the way to the kitchen display systems.
Mhm.
Too many times we've walked into facilities that print all the orders for lunch. They print them in the morning, in between when they were printed, in between kitchen starts preparing lunch. The doctor may have seen the resident or patient and changed their diet and their dietary needs. And
Right.
you can't go change a piece of paper. And
Yeah.
yeah, too many times people have had to be served what they did not want or have food made or even missed a meal just because things have changed between the time it was
Mhm.
originally sent to the kitchen and the time it was served. And we want to
There's
lessen that gap as much as possible.
There's
Absolutely.
nothing worse than being starving and just wanting to eat and have somebody drop the food in front of you and you're not able to eat it. You're like,
Yeah,
really?
been there.
Exactly. So trying to prevent that is our goal with all of our systems.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. All right. The questions are heating up a bit. Operationalizing AI. Ooh, what's the biggest mistake organizations make when trying to add AI to existing systems? I think this is a question everyone's trying to wrap their head around right now.
Yeah, so I see AI on several levels. And of course, the first thing that everyone thinks when they think AI is the chat bot. And I think the biggest mistake or I won't know that it's a mistake, but it's a underuse of the capability of AI is using it as a search bot. They go and
Yeah.
they, instead of actually using Google or using a knowledge-based search text box, they use a chat bot. But does that really add value? I mean, it is necessary now. I mean, all applications are developing that, sticking that in their software. So that it becomes like a must-have to stay par with other systems, but that's not really the extent of AI's capability.
Yeah, I mean, AI is a tool and it's just all about how facilities use it and how organizations implement it. So, agreed. We hear a lot of things where people try to think that AI is going to solve everything, and it's not about, it's about how you use it, and it's about using it smartly. So again, I agree with Wes, and I don't know if necessarily would say some of the organizations are, maliciously going out there and telling people to use these tools in an incorrect way, but it's kind of using a hammer when you need a screwdriver. It's using the right tool for the right thing.
Right. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, yeah, AI is everywhere, but where does it actually deliver ROI for our hospital and senior living communities?
That's a great question, one that we constantly have conversations about within CCS all the time, looking for that, how we can help our clients have not just an ROI, but improve their day-to-day work activities and offer better solutions for them to offer better care for their guests and their residents and their patients. And we debate this a lot internally. Going to talk a little bit about more specifics of what we're looking at in CCS. But yeah, data analysis is probably the first thing that comes off the top of my head. And helping them analyze their menus, their sales. Going back to our conversation about preferences around patients.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool to ask AI, hey, nobody really likes fish, and we have a few people allergic to chicken, right? What do you recommend? What type of menu can we actually build out? And this is what our inventory is. This is what we can purchase, and between now and when the meal is served. I mean, really, it's like I've worked in kitchens for years, having to take inventory, purchasing, plate cost, and all that. I mean, you could sit down at a table for hours, and being able to use AI to help you plan and build those things out would be huge.
Yeah,
Throwing
absolutely.
AI a picture of like your inventory pantry, or throwing it like, here's all the common ingredients that I already am serving. Can you guys help me get creative and come up with some additional solutions? Which then leads to greater satisfaction. It leads to less waste because you're offering food that people actually want to eat. So it would impact both hospital and senior living communities.
Yeah, amazing. I love that answer. What AI capabilities do you think are most likely to change the care environments in the next 2 to 5 years? That's a tough one because,
That's really far out.
yeah.
Yeah. I have my ideas. You want to go first, Shannon? Want me to go?
You go for it.
I think everything revolves around food. I mean, all of our systems is around food service.
Yep.
That's our focus. So yeah, it goes back to kind of like this whole discussion, building out menus and like, I mean, chefs go to school for years. They learn on one side how to actually make a great plate and a great meal and food tastes good by cooking this way. And then they go to other classes that teach them how to do food cost and inventory and procurement of items. But it's difficult to crisscross those two skill sets, and I think AI is going to have a big impact there, with planning meals and menus while still maintaining a food cost and a place cost that's acceptable to your facility.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think of it from a like a dietetics perspective. So things are constantly changing. There's new regulations being introduced, and
Yeah.
having to, learn how to build menus and recipe management one way, and then a new regulation takes place, and then all of a sudden you've got to go and revisit all of your recipes. You have to revisit everything that you've been doing for however long and manually make all those updates. It's
Right.
painful and it's labor intensive. So having AI, to help with those tasks, as to
Mhm.
say maybe CCP temperatures have, changed from this degree to another degree. AI, can you find all the recipes that would be impacted by this and go ahead and just update those HACCP steps, or just different things that we think about on a day-to-day basis when they occur. Like when you get that notification that there's a new regulation or there's something that you have to change, for your first train of thought is overwhelming. Like, I don't want to take on this beast. I don't want to have to, I've spent years, in my data. I love my data. I love everything that I have. And all
Mhm.
of a sudden, because of an outside influence, I've got to update everything and it's overwhelming. So how do you
Yeah.
make AI like help you with that? Right.
Right.
It's using the right tool. So I could see in the next 2 to 5 years, as those regulations and as the industry continues to evolve and change, making
Yes.
AI be that partner that you need so that you're actually free to continue doing the skill that you are. Registered dietitians, I have so much respect for. They've gone to school for years. They do continue in education. They've got so many things on their plate. If there's one thing that we can take off of them and allow, technology to do it, we're going to do it. And I can see that being a trend for 2 to 5, 10 years plus. Is
Mhm.
that's all we want, is how do we make AI and technology make our lives easier.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
thinking
Well
outside the
said.
box and how we do that is at the core of what we're doing at CCS right now, when we're trying to figure out, how to bring AI into our product offerings.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, hot seat tech talk. We'll go into a little bit about implementing technology and a little sneak peek about the common sense roadmap, I hope. So Wes, this is for you, and Shannon, feel free to join in on this one. What are the most exciting updates coming to Common Sense this year for our customers? Can you share a little bit about the role AI will also play in shaping the future roadmap?
Yeah, of course. You said AI is a big part of our roadmap. It's not the whole roadmap, but it is a big part of it. So we like to, as developer, researchers and all that, you like to break things down. So while Shannon and I sit here and we have this idea, this dream of AI doing all these things, we really have to like take a step back and, okay, where do we start with all of that? So one of our first things, of course, we're going to add the little chat bot that does a little search to the knowledge base and helps you out and gives you the articles and blah, 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 that all the other software is going to offer. That's coming. Cool. But beyond that is to help with some of the repetitive administrative tasks. And going back to the food. And one of the big things that people in the food servers spend their most amount of time on with running a point of sale system, a dietary system, a patient feeding system is the
Yes.
menu. So we want to focus on the menu, and then we're going to start small and then work our way up. So probably the first things that'll start coming out of our project is really just menu item setup. Adding a new menu item can be challenging for some folks and almost daunting if they're adding a new menu item across multiple outlets, revenue centers, facilities. because we do have our enterprise system. So you're adding a new menu item that's going to be sold in a cafeteria, handled in patient feeding, and given to resident dining, right? And so it's got to be in all these different places. It's got to be linked to diets. It's got to have ingredients. So we want the AI to help with that menu setup, and it
Right.
just be simple things. Does this menu item already exist? Yes. Would you
Mhm.
like me to go ahead and set it up for this other purpose? Yes. Price changes. Let's say Pepsi raises the price of all their products by 3%. Hey, AI, can you find all the products that Pepsi produces and raise my pricing by 3% to match what they're going to actually be charging me?
Mhm.
So just help with some of those routine tasks that some of our facility operators have to deal with on their day-to-day basis and make their job much easier. So that's the
Yeah.
AI piece. And so we're going to start there, and from there we'll broaden out maybe with some labor management, recipe management, menu cycle management. But we had to start somewhere, and we think we start with the core, just the menu item itself. How do we better manage it? How do we provide tools? Actually, of course, the buzzword in the development side of our industry is agentic AI. And so that's kind of where we're going, where we'll have agents helping with some of these tasks. Some of the other exciting stuff, non-AI related, we are shooting to be OS and hardware agnostic by the end of the year. So kind of allowing our clients to have options in their hardware solutions, to not tie them down to just Windows anymore, allow them to explore other solutions, devices. We're a software vendor, not a hardware vendor, and so we want to be able to allow them to build the best solutions for their business using the best tools that is available to them.
Awesome.
Yeah, so those are the big things.
Yeah.
Without
Sounds
getting
really
into
exciting.
details, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool when they all come
And all
out.
this is going to be delivered like tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Right.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
sure. Right on it. Hopefully my dev team isn't watching.
No pressure, guys.
All right, great. Thanks, Wes.
Sure.
I'll move on to the next question unless you want to add anything else, Shannon.
Yep.
All right, great.
All
Okay.
good.
So for people who don't have a food service software solution or not using enterprise solutions, what should they be, what should they stop buying and what should they start optimizing in with their tech stack?
That
Um,
is definitely a Wes question. You don't want
yeah.
to hear my answer.
I mean, the first and obvious is on-prem hardware, server-based hardware. Everything should be in the cloud. And yeah, we can get into more specifics on that later, but yeah, stop buying hardware that ties you down to a particular size, shape, um, capability.
Hmm.
And then the next thing would be, and this is one of my pet peeves, paper-based reporting.
Right.
I can't tell you, it gives me bumps on my skin when we go into a client
Yeah.
that we're just now implementing, and they're still printing out their daily sales report with a hole puncher, sticking in a notebook up on a shelf somewhere. Or
Yeah.
the other classic, having the point of sale system print out two copies of receipts and they give one to the customer and stick the other in the drawer. I mean, this is
Hmm.
really 2026. There should be no reason to print out and save paper somewhere anymore.
Right.
We keep data in our system forever and a day. So
Yeah.
if we ever need to go back and look up a transaction 2, 3 years from now, we still have it. The need to waste paper, store paper, save paper. Yeah, it's really time to give that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I was gonna say to that, the reason that people do the reporting and you stick it in a binder and all the rest of it is because of audit purposes, right? Like
Hmm.
everyone has to keep that information for so long, and depending on what the individual facilities rules are around that. So we want to be able to allow them, but that is one of the great benefits about GenPause is that we're not purging your sales data. So if you want to see how many hamburgers you sold 5 years ago, have at it. You've got all the data in the world. There's no reason to print, save a tree.
Yeah,
Save a
exactly.
tree. Yep.
All right. What questions should executives be asking their IT teams, but usually don't?
So I'll take that one. I specific questions are one thing, but
Mhm.
on top of it, I think the bigger issue is timing, not necessarily
Mhm.
the questions or the technology that, an executive looks at. So I know in our world, the person that's actually buying the software, they are buying it based off of the features and the functionality that they're being presented or they're being demoed to, right? We're all about making
Mhm.
sure that the ROI is there and that it's a cost-effective approach and all of the things that those executives want to hear. But when you start talking to an IT team, they immediately dial in on is it secure? What am I going to have to
Right.
do to implement this? Like all
Mhm.
of the things that are involved. And I know from an implementation perspective, when we do a project kickoff, the very first thing that we say is, who's your IT contact? We need to have somebody from your IT department to be involved right from the very beginning to make sure that this
Yep.
is done upfront in a timely manner. If it's not done in a timely manner, if you're not bringing those IT teams in, I prefer they bring the IT teams in at the point of deciding what technology solution to go with. Like, get their
Right.
insight in. Don't just, buy something based off of um, what the sales pitch is, but
Right.
actually bring somebody else that's going to have to help support it, at a local place. Late involvement usually, will delay a project. There's
Right.
potential for security gaps. There's, implementation friction between the people that are excited about the new program and then the IT people that are kind of the buzzkills that are like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great, but we
Yeah.
got to make sure that it's secure. Nobody wants
Yeah.
it's,
This
you
Right.
know,
just means
it's
more
a
work for us.
Yeah.
right. It's a necessary evil, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. Like they're there to do a very specific job. So bring them in earlier and
Mhm.
Yeah.
make them be involved in the process from the sales to the implementation. I wish they were brought in even sooner. It would make some of our go lives go significantly more smoother.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's really good. That's a really good tip. Thanks, Shannon.
yeah.
All right. What metrics actually convince executives these solutions are worth the investment?
So
Okay.
when we're looking at our software applications, we kind of focus on four different areas.
Mhm.
It's how do we reduce food cost? How do we increase satisfaction? How do we improve resident and patient safety? And how do we reduce labor pressure? We're not talking about eliminating jobs. We're talking about making those people more efficient in the jobs that they
Mhm.
have, right? And so
Yeah.
a lot of your old school metrics or KPIs are all surrounding dollars and they're all talking about, ROI, where I try to focus on some of maybe the softer things that we can convince that have a significant impact on an operation. So some of our solutions can assist with these types of four areas. Um, Wes already alluded to one of them when he was making the Pepsi comment about, if
Yeah.
if they all of a sudden increase your cost, you have to turn around and increase your cost, and it's this trickle
Mhm.
down effect. So, having sales mix analytics at your fingertips will help prevent and save you money, right? And you want to eliminate
Mhm.
food cost. Um, Increase satisfaction. So our GemServe product has built-in guest surveys. So if all of a sudden you find out that that recipe for fish, it's people love fish. Our
Yeah.
recipe for our fish
I,
dish is just terrible,
I
and it
I
needs
feel
to be
bad for
updated.
fish today.
Right? Poor fish is
I'm
getting
gonna have fish
hungry.
tonight for dinner.
But anyway, but getting real-time feedback, whether it
Yeah.
be, electronically, done through our surveys, it's a great avenue to try to get real-time information, and you can make those changes before you keep wasting more fish.
Right.
Um, our goal is to increase patient and resident safety. Dietary and allergen safeguards are put into place in all of our systems because we were talking with healthcare, that's critical things. And so I always think about what happens if you were to serve somebody something. Let's go to fish. You have a fish allergy and you serve somebody fish. What is the ROI on that? On potentially, killing somebody or causing some serious injury? Like you
Right.
need to have those systems in place to be able to prevent that. And then the last one about reducing labor pressure, I think a really we see it in every industry. And so of course, healthcare is going to adapt it as well, as kiosks. We're not talking about actually removing cashiers or replacing cashiers with kiosks. We're talking about adding to the workflow, right?
Mhm,
So if I
mhm.
walk into a hospital cafeteria and I see a massive line of people waiting to check out, and I see a kiosk that's available over there, I can go in, I can place my order, it sends it directly to the kitchen, I can do my payment right there, and I'm in and out, and that's just my preferred choice of checkout. So
Yeah.
just offering various different ways to be able to service your guests, it's huge. And so
Mhm.
again, how many orders can that kiosk take? How much does it cost to add that kiosk? It's going to
Right.
pay for itself in no time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that even that kiosk example, you can even expand it not just to the food service employees, but
right.
to all the employees in the hospitals.
Oh,
The
yeah.
everyone who goes to that cafeteria to eat. I mean, if they can go in, grab something, go through a kiosk, and get back to work
Yeah,
quickly
absolutely.
versus standing in a long line
Mhm.
and not getting
Whether
anything done while you're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a couple of installs where staff would come up and be like, I literally have 20 minutes of a lunch break. Like, I don't have time to stand in a line and wait for my food. So, whether it be kiosks or even online ordering, giving them the
Yeah.
ability to, while I'm still working, I could go ahead, place my order so that I know when it's time for my lunch break, I head down to the cafeteria. The kitchen's already been aware of what I want to eat, grab it, go, and then I just save myself how much extra time in my lunch break. Um, so those types of things, I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we are moving into Q&A time. For
Woo.
those who are with us, if you have a question, there's a Q&A at the top banner. You can drop your questions in there. And so I'll just give people a couple of minutes.
Be nice. Don't ask anything too hard.
I've got okay, I see. All right, I've got a question here about moving from on-prem to SaaS. Um, what are the pros and cons of moving from an on-prem to SaaS model? Who would like to take that one?
Sure. So of course, a lot of I've have a lot of IT folks I talk to, and a lot of them will do the whole what's called lift and shift, take your on-prem server, stick
Hmm.
it in cloud, and then they realize there's not really any cost savings in just doing that straight up. Um, you really need a cloud solution, a cloud plan, cloud infrastructure. And once you have that, it offers significant savings to deal with the dynamics of change.
Hmm.
Some of the things that cloud offers that's very difficult to replicate on-prem is scalability. Businesses grow, they shrink. Usually when you purchase hardware on-prem, you're purchasing a server to last you at least 5 years and to be able to predict how your business is going to change between now and 5 years. And not just your business, but the entire industry that you are housing software or whatever purpose that server plays, the technology industry, new OSs, AI is coming out, right? All these different changes affect scalability. The fact that our systems are in the cloud or any system is in the cloud, changing your scalability is as simple as a few clicks, whereas on-prem, you're actually changing infrastructure, hardware, equipment, which is very difficult to do. That is the biggest cost savings, is being able to deal with change. If
Hmm.
nothing changed and everything stayed the same, yeah, on-prem works great and probably cheaper than cloud.
Right. Okay, great.
So
We have,
I will like
yeah.
I'd like to make a comment about like one of the cons that we constantly hear, or some of the backlash that we get from IT folks that don't want to lose control. So if they have an on-prem, they know it's locked down. They know it's secure. This is mine. I don't have any risk about it getting hacked or there being any sort of incidences related to, the scary cloud. And I think one of the challenges is when you're deciding to move from an on-prem to a SaaS model, you need to go with a reputable brand and a reputable company. If you're
Mhm.
going with somebody that's brand new, that doesn't have the expertise behind there to make sure that your data is safe and protected, then you're potentially setting yourself up for some serious risks. So I see the benefits of having on-prem when it comes to security, because again, like those IT folks, this is mine. Nobody can touch. I have it on lockdown. It's on my own personal network. It's on this, it's on that. And moving to the cloud can be scary. So I think it's just having a conversation and having enough confidence in whatever vendor you select, whether it be us or somebody else that's got
Mhm.
expertise in the cloud space. Just make sure you do your homework before you purchase anything, and make sure that if you are moving to the cloud, that you're comfortable and confident with those people.
Yeah, that's really
They should
good
be your
tip.
partner for sure.
Okay, we have a question from Janice or Janice. Sorry, I know there's a couple ways you can pronounce that name. Um, Janice or Janice Perez. Any tips for limiting theft in self-pay kiosk operation?
Yes. Um, a lot of it comes down to how you design your kiosk to work, right? So one of the great things about our applications is the fact that it is very customizable. So if you want to offer certain discounts to certain people, or if you want to do certain things and accept certain payment methods, we set the system up to be able to do that. One of the latest releases that we just deployed, and it was again I'm speaking for Wes here. Our roadmap, a lot of the features and functionality that are introduced are direct relations to from our customers. It's the feedback. It's the, hey, I have an idea. I need you to do this, and we're like, brilliant. We'll do that for you, right? So when it comes to kiosks, we had the opportunity or the ability where somebody could actually click on a text button and type certain things in that would be sent to the kitchen. And the
Special
thought process
instructions, yeah.
behind that would have been like modifiers, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, can you, I want this to be no tomato, or you just want to write a message to the kitchen staff, put in this, put in that. We found some scenarios though where sneaky staff members or sneaky guests were going in and be like, hey, can you do a double portion? Or hey, can you throw in this? And the kitchen doesn't know that there's not enough charge for it. They just see it on a receipt, and they're gonna make it according to what that ticket says, right? So we've
Right.
now updated our kiosk to be able to restrict that texting, so that way we eliminate that kind of gap where you could have potentially gotten a double portion of protein or something like that instead
Mm-hmm.
of getting the upcharge. So um, we're all about listening to our customers and hearing their stories about theft and anything else that may be impacting their operations, especially when it comes to kiosks. And we're constantly updating the software to meet those needs.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. We do have one more question. I'm running a bit out of time, so maybe we'll take that question offline. And we'll go into rapid fire. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, all right. Okay, rapid fire questions. These are fun questions. I think just myth or sorry, true or false. And that we'll just leave it at that. We can debate it if you guys want, but we'll just go. I'll read the statement and you guys say true or false on the count of three. Sound good?
Bring
All
it on.
right. Okay, AI is plug
Yeah.
and play. One,
True
two,
and
three.
false.
I was gonna say both.
That's not how you play the game.
Sorry.
Technically,
Yeah.
it's true, because there are a lot of great AI agents and
Yeah.
AI applications out there that you can,
Agreed.
get a subscription to and immediately start using it. But if you're actually looking to get the full value out of AI, there's a lot more work that's involved than just plug and play.
Okay,
Yep. Agreed.
that's fair. All right. Okay. More tools equals better performance. One,
False.
two, three.
False.
Okay.
Sorry, I jumped to that immediately.
False.
No.
Definitely false. False. More tools, no. And I even preach this to my kids. It's all about having the right tool for the right job. And so that, yeah, at least here at CCS, whether you use one product or all of our products, we're picking the right tool for the application needed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, that else can be controversial. Security is an IT problem, not a business one. 1, 2, 3, go.
False.
False.
Oh, okay. Glad to hear you guys
Yeah.
are aligned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our chief security officer, I'm pretty sure would have words if I said the opposite.
Yeah.
Never saw a security tool click on a phishing link.
Yeah.
Right? Humans do that.
Okay, cloud automatically saves company. 1, 2, 3.
False.
False. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, we're obviously going to tout cloud because that's that's our
We're
products, but
experts at it. Yeah.
yeah, that's our thing. But I mean, in general, you can't just say that moving everything to the cloud is just going to automatically save you money tomorrow. It
Yeah.
doesn't work that way.
That's fair. Okay, legacy systems can't be improved. 3, 2, 1.
False.
True.
Think true?
I think true. I mean, legacy systems, it's in the word legacy. Like it implies
Yeah.
that there's something already newer and better. So why would I focus on something that's already outdated?
I guess it's just my R&D brain. I
Uh,
want to improve everything.
I'm more or less move on to something better. The legacy, that
Yeah.
means that it's already out. It's already end of life. It's like that term is what gets me. Now, if it's a cloud system, can it be approved? Absolutely. That's why we work in an agile world.
Yep.
Okay, automation means layoffs. 3, 2, 1.
False.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Automation doesn't replace people. It just allows them to do more with less.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Compliance slows innovation. 3, 2, 1.
False. Chad's making lots of funny faces.
I struggle with this one because I respect compliance. It has a need, and I absolutely, compliance is important, but it absolutely does create bottlenecks at times and could potentially slow innovation if it's not implemented correctly. So depending on the situation, I think true.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Mhm.
But from a development point of view, knowing what the bumpers are, removes the whole experiment game, seeing what works. So we know what those compliance guidelines are, you know what the rules are, and you know to stay in your lane and what you got to build, and allows us to build faster.
Right. I hear it. I guess I'm thinking of more from like a dietetics perspective, right?
Yeah.
So compliance
Yeah.
slows innovation. I would love to create all these new dishes, and I have, and then all of a sudden new
That's true.
regulations step in, and all of a sudden I've got to change my entire menu, or I've got to, like, it slows down the process. Where there
Right.
again, if we had AI involved, then AI would work with compliance, and then we wouldn't slow innovation.
Yeah, that's I would agree that makes a lot of sense, but that's like a
That's a good
change in
point.
compliance. That's changing
Yes.
the rules of the game while you're playing, which
Yes.
yes, would totally screw you over.
Yeah. I mean, that affects anything, right?
Yeah.
Change is always going to slow things down if it's not done the right way.
Right.
Mhm. All right. Tech strategy is buying software.
No, strategy is
False.
not procurement.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, strategy is all about outcomes and behaviors,
Right.
not the tools for those behaviors.
Unless your strategy is just to accumulate as many tools as possible, they kind of,
It's a bad strategy.
yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
All right. Oh, digital transformation has an end date.
False.
False.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a capability.
Right. Yeah. Only large enterprises need governments.
False.
False. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're small, medium, or large enterprises. Like you've got to have you've checks and balances. You've got to have some sort of governance in place to make sure that things are being done the way that they should be done. So again, going to an enterprise system like GemPause, it doesn't matter if you have 2 locations or 200 locations. Like you need somewhere that's centralized and that's going to give senior leadership insight to what's going on so that they can establish governance. Yeah.
The small guys even have less margin for error.
Right?
Mhm.
Or less
Right.
people to help with
Yeah,
it,
it's
right?
true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so that was the last rapid fire
Oh,
question.
those weren't so
Um,
bad.
I would like to thank Wes and Shannon today for your professional insights. I got a lot of actionable tips and takeaways and learned a lot today. I hope everyone that attended here did as well. If there are any more questions or if you disagree on any of those rapid fire questions, feel free to email us at sales@csense.com, or make comments on our social media channels there, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. We will be sending a survey, a feedback survey following this webinar for your feedback and suggestions, comments. Otherwise, you guys can expect to see the recording shortly as well. Thank you all for being here today, and we hope to see you again soon.